friends, welcome to another important video. Before I get into the topic of today's video, I want you to go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell for all the notifications as well. When you get that massive epiphany from today's video, I would love if you could comment below and I'll do my best to comment back. My friends, today's video is about fatigue and anxiety. Now, let me share a little bit about what it's like to live with an anxiety disorder and fatigue. I'm not talking about solely physical fatigue, right? When you suffer from an anxiety disorder, a few interesting things start to happen. Yes, you have good sleeps, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours even. But you wake up every single morning feeling like you haven't slept, okay? And you go through the day experiencing mental fatigue. So the mental fatigue is more so a tired feeling around thinking, right? So anxiety sufferers, what they do is they experience what I call replaying. So they replay the same ideas day in and day out that causes them to experience the same negative emotional states. And when they want to consciously, with awareness, start thinking, which means thinking for themselves rather than allowing others to think for them or their instincts to think for them, it can be tiring. Change is tiring. Thinking is tiring. Replaying the same thoughts is not tiring. That is an unconscious act, whereas thinking is a conscious act. So as you can see, there's this physical fatigue, there's this mental fatigue, and it leads to emotional fatigue. Anxiety sufferers get to a point where they don't necessarily feel much anymore. Yes, they still feel fear, and yes, they feel like they're standing guard all the time towards the next potential threat, but they never seem to experience the kind of emotion that they want to experience, but rather they are reverted back to fear and this constant sensitivity all the time. So the fatigue is an issue that we really have to touch on, and I'm really happy to do this video today. Now, the mental and emotional body has the potential to drain or boost the physical and spiritual body. Okay, this will be the main idea behind today's fatigue and anxiety video. So yes, the mental and the emotional body, as long as we are highly activated and that volume is turned up very, very high, it will either positively or negatively affect the physical and the spiritual body as well. In fact, the spiritual body is non-existent when there's this level of fatigue and anxiety. Now, when I talk about fatigue today, my friends, I'm going to be referring quite a bit to Louise Hay's work. I love her work, and in my videos and in my podcast, I'm always looking to refer the very best people when it comes to healing anxiety and total transformation and living within inner peace. So today we're referring to Louise Hay's work, specifically How to Heal Your Life, this book. And in this book, something very interesting happens. There is a physical issue. And with that physical issue, Louise has taken the time to intuitively share with us what emotional distresses, what mental distresses are connected to this physical issue. So today what we're going to do is we're going to nail down some of these things that are related to fatigue. And what I want you to do is I want you to give it a little bit of time and go, my God, that really does resonate with me, right? I want you to think about it. I want you to take it to heart, and simply by the clarity and awareness that you're going to gain from this video, it's going to take you towards what you need to do next. Now, Louise Hay says that when it comes to fatigue, there is also resistance. Resistance. This is important. And my interpretation of what she calls resistance is resistance to understanding, right? When an anxiety sufferer is presented with information, great support, great advice from people that give good advice, what they do is they listen to the information, but they don't look to understand the information. When there's this misunderstanding or lack of understanding, what we need to understand is this is a defense mechanism caused by the inner child subconscious mind, not allowing you to understand this information, therefore not allowing you to change. So there's resistance to understanding, there's resistance to support, okay? And when there is resistance to support from other people, that usually comes down to a self-worth issue, right? You don't believe that you are deserving of this support from people. You are not deserving of people's time and such. That's why anxiety suffers when they go about their days and the topic is about them. It's very, very uncomfortable for them because the level of self-worth, self-esteem, self-concept that they have is very, very low. And so we need to understand that if there is resistance to support, that comes with self-worth, and I know you're working on it each and every day. There's also, finally, resistance to change, okay? So when Louise Hay talks about the connection between resistance and fatigue, where are you with this? Are you at a conscious and an unconscious level resisting? Resisting understanding, resisting support from others, and most importantly, resisting change, right? Resisting change. Don't worry about it. Towards the end of this video, I'm going to give you the keys to work on each and every one of these, and we are going to tackle this fatigue, I promise. The second thing that Louise Hay talks about when it comes to fatigue is boredom. She talks about boredom, okay? So this boredom comes from striving for, but never really achieving certain goals, right? So a person has strived in their lives to create something new, to create a change, to make a difference. And because those goals have not been achieved, they get to a place where they don't really believe in themselves anymore. Therefore, they don't take any action around their creativeness anymore, right? Which leads them to boredom. There's a lack of purpose when it comes to boredom. This is very, very important. Each and every day should feel like a new life. When you wake up in the morning, it doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter what happened a month or a year ago or whatever. When you wake up every single morning, you are waking up to opportunity, okay? Opportunity. That opportunity is looking at you in the face. And you need to look at it. You need to welcome it in, right? And so we need to understand that with this life, with this opportunity, we must be open to what our true purposes in this lifetime truly is. Your purpose is derived by creativity. Your creativity is derived by your intuition. If you continue to suffer from anxiety, you will continue to suffer from a lack of creativity and a lack of intuition. You will solely be stuck in a world of being instinctual, instinct this, instinct that, constantly trying to prevent things from happening and never allowing yourself to be creative. It's not fair to you. And when you bring awareness to this, when you connect enough dissatisfaction with living this way, you will open yourself up to those new ideas, and when they arise, you must write them down, you must take action on them. So Louise Hay connects boredom to fatigue. She also connects a lack of love for what one does, a lack of love for what one does. Let's dive deep into this. So there is a stagnancy. There's a stagnancy based around the person's career, the person's job, the person's business, okay? It doesn't inspire them. It just truly doesn't inspire them. Yes, they're putting in the time. They're putting in a lot of time, right? But there's a lack of connection and will there. So there's stagnancy connected to lack of love for what one does. And also, there's an inability to contribute to other people's lives. Many times when we get stuck in a career, a job, whatever it is, yes, it can get very repetitive, right? To the point of boredom. Yes, you're paying the bills. Yes, these things are happening. But at the same time, at what cost? At what cost is this coming at, right? A few years ago, my friends, about 5-6 years ago, I had to make a decision. The decision was to either continue doing what wasn't fulfilling me, it was paying the bills, or begin embarking on a journey that was very, very, in my mind, risky. And that journey led me towards connecting with others. That journey led me towards contributing to others. That journey, although my mind was doing everything in its power to pull me back into that job that I did not really appreciate or love, the journey opened up who I truly am to myself. When you're stuck doing what your heart is not into, when you're stuck putting in a tremendous amount of time into something that's not fulfilling you, at the same time you are being an artificial version of who you truly are. But when you take that risk, when you step out of the comfort, because comfort is the killer of all dreams, when you step out of that comfort and you get uncomfortable, right? And you allow yourself to move through that comfort with the idea and the intention that it's going to work out just fine, then you will find yourself. And not only will you find yourself, you will find the right people. I can't tell you how true this is, because fatigue is connected to these things, my friends. It's connected to resistance, mainly the resistance to change. It's connected to boredom. It's connected to a lack of love for what one does. I've tested these. I've worked with people for years now, and I see these cycles and these patterns constantly. When your emotional state is so down and at the same time frantic, you will experience fatigue. And that fatigue many times is coming from the inner child as a preventative, as a defense mechanism. And it doesn't want change. But that's why we each and every day must come from a guiding place. When fear arises, we guide it. When anxiety arises, we guide it. When anger arises, we guide it. When guilt arises, we guide it. We don't succumb to it. We guide it. And when you can do this regularly, it's incredible how the fatigue begins to lessen and eventually goes away, right? And remember what we said. The mental and emotional body has the potential to drain or boost the physical and spiritual body. So the question is, what can we practically do for each and every one of these three things? Number one, I want you to write these down for me. I'll also put these in the description, don't worry. Number one is to create a clear new association around change. I want you to do this. I want you to come up with at least one which will lead you to more. New emotional associations to change. When things change, when you commit, when you step out of your comfort zone, when you eliminate fear, what's going to happen? How is your life going to change? How can we make peace with change? How can we build a better relationship with change. I'm talking about changing your career completely, changing your social circle, changing where you eat, changing the direction that you drive to work, changing what you wear, changing your identity, coming back into your own, not succumbing to the ideas of others that were implanted into you from years back. Because that's really what's going on right now. Number 2 thing we must do is we must begin paying more attention to and respecting your creative side. You know what's really interesting? With a boost in creativity comes a boost in playfulness, right? And if you're watching my Instagram stories, you know how playful I can get, right? And it doesn't matter to me what people think about me. I'm trying to be as true to myself as I possibly can. I'm trying to not even inspire others. I'm just trying to come into my own. And that's what I want from you. I want you to come into your own. I want you to find your true divine self. And the way to do it is to boost your creativity. So you've got this urge to start painting. You've got this urge to start dancing. You've got this urge to sing. You've got this urge to be more playful. I want you to tap into these creative sides of you because this is who you are. This is who you are. Right? So whenever creativity wants to arise, welcome it in, come on in. And let's think this through. Let's place some ideas on a piece of paper and let's take action around this, right? Allow your intuition to guide you. Never succumb to your intelligence that is connected to overthinking because overthinking is the enemy. Remember, there's a difference between thinking and replaying. Right? Big difference. Number 3 is pay it forward in any way possible to heal your fatigue around anxiety. Pay it forward. Do you have a skill that other people want to adopt from you? Well, go ahead and help someone. Just help someone. Right? Help anybody, online, offline, it doesn't matter. Pay it forward. Do you feel like there's a tremendous amount of gratitude and love coming from you? Pay it forward. Let others see what you're all about, right? I remember being in the drive-thru many times and I would look behind me and I would get this intuitive sense, right? And I'm trying to order a tea or something like that. And I'm looking behind me and I just get the sense that the person driving behind me is going through a tremendous amount of trouble. And I can see by their posture and they're slumped over and at the same time they're gripping the wheel hard. And I can see that they're in their heads, right? They're not present. They're in the future based around being stuck in the past. And in that moment, intuitively, I said, why don't I just go ahead and pay for this person's meal or whatever they're going to order? So that's what I would do. I would pay it forward. So there are so many ways to connect with people and therefore connect as a world moving in the direction of love and moving away from the direction of fear, my friends. So go ahead, pay it forward, and implement these keys. I promise you, they have everything to do with your fatigue. I want to leave you with this. We miss out on the present because we're always getting ready for the future. And let me tell you something. If you're always getting ready for the future, you will be overwhelmed. You will deplete yourself. And trust me, if you look around right now to the people that are surrounding you and the things and the experiences that you have and can have, you already have a tremendous amount of miracles right here, right now. Things that you dreamed of decades ago have manifested. If you can only look around and take them all in. Warriors, remember that you are more than anxiety. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for spending some time with me. And if you have any other questions on the #1 anxiety recovery program available online today, the Inner Circle, head on over here. I'll see you soon.